All right, Google Hangout says we're live, so we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Keyboard Warriors, presented by Crossroads MMA. My name is Eddie Law. You guys know Nick Pilecki, and the new guy, not so new because he's been doing this way longer than us. But first podcast he's done in 6 years, Jay Russell from VendettaFighter.com. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for having me on here.
Hey, appreciate you coming on. Now, if you guys notice, it does sound like he's on the phone. All right, we here at Keyboard Warriors do not give a shit. We will go get on this motherfucker, all right, and make this work somehow. All right, just little tiny rant. Fuck computer companies for not making your shit easy to fix. I just say that right now. Because I ain't paying no goddamn body to fix a keyboard, a computer, a car, none of that shit. All right, I will YouTube the fuck out of it and fix it myself. But, you know, we all know about Google and all that shit. Anyway, let's kick it off. Shout out to Jeremiah, who's watching on YouTube, and Danny Moore. Oh, Danny's a funny motherfucker. If you don't follow that dude on Twitter, you're missing out. Anyway, all right, well, let's get started right away. Well, real quick, Jay, if you want to give a little background. How long have you been doing this? Way longer than me. I met you when we were working on another site, and now you have your own site, Vendetta Fighter, that you've had actually for quite a while. So, just I don't know, how long have you been doing this stuff?
About 2009, 2010, I volunteered for a website for a little while, and I didn't really agree with the way they did things. They were kind of BJPen.com-ish, stealing people's news, this, that, and that. I didn't want to be a part of that, so then I just launched my own website, which was called MMA Toronto back then. That shit got hacked and destroyed, and then I relaunched Vendetta Fighter in 2011. I sold it a couple years ago. Some unfortunate situation happened. I got the website back, and I'm back in the game. It's just the basics. Man.
Yeah, and have you guys ever seen, there's been stories that Jay has broken, VendettaFighter.com has broken. Famously, we just talked about it before the show, and honestly, one of my favorite moments of the MMA Hour ever is when I think you were the one that broke news about the nose break, right, on Diego?
Oh, the MMA Hour thing, that was for Rory McDonald versus Hector Lombard, which was supposed to happen at UFC 186.
That's what it was. That's what it was, yeah. And people got on Ariel Helwani so bad on Twitter. He had to be like, oh yeah, sorry, that story was broken by Vendetta Fighter. And like you could almost see like the shit, like the little gut wrenching feeling he got in his stomach. And honestly, probably my favorite moment of the MMA Hour ever, like ever. So appreciate that. I give you credit for that one. All right. So anyway, right away, let's get right into let's talk about some MMA. This is the whole point. Andrew Reed watching out of the UK. Good evening. Oh yeah, it's fucking nice.
Eddie, you keep muting yourself, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just the sound thing's trying to fucking up when I like switch screens. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, UFC 200. Obviously, we knew the main event was supposed to be Nate Diaz against Conor McGregor Part 2. Now, first of all, when they made that, hold up, there we go. When they made that fight, a lot of people were like, "Oh, we don't want to see it." You know, why? Why would you do that? Nate beat him in 10 days' notice or whatever it was. He just came off a boat drinking tequila. Why would you want to fucking do that? And then, you know, the whole thing with Conor happened. Now, Conor put out that statement. You know, saying, yeah, I made the company $400 million, and also the shit. I just want a break from this one fight so I can focus on training. Starting here with Nick. Nick, who do you side with in this whole thing? Because it's basically Conor McGregor versus the UFC. Who do you think is right, who's wrong, or is there even, is it all gray area?
I side with the UFC more. I get where Conor's coming from, that he doesn't get paid to promote, he gets paid to fight and everything like that. But I side with the UFC because it's in their contract. You have to do your PR. It's plain and simple. You have to do your PR. You have to promote the fight to get the fight. It's probably in the contract that you signed to get the fight. You might as well do it. And I understand where he's coming from. I don't want to fly all the way over there to New York and do this. Aldo did it, and everyone else did it too. So what makes you any different? So I side with the UFC. I like what they did. They didn't bow down to Conor's wishes. They're like, hey, you're another fighter. We'll pull you off the card if we have to. So I'm on UFC side.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, like, look, if I got tricked out by Nate Diaz, if I had a long, full training camp, and then some dude came off the street, fucking probably still half drunk, and choked me the fuck out, I'd be like, yeah, I probably want to train a little more, too, for the next one. But, Jay, what do you think about this, man? Look, McGregor coming off as kind of like, I mean, look, some of the shit he said it makes sense. I mean, to me, I understood what he was saying. I just said, look, man, if you're going to be part of a company, you're not owning the company, you can't call the shots. And the UFC was backed into a corner where they had to set a precedent. So what do you think of this whole situation, man?
First of all, I'm glad the Jones and DC fight got announced as the 200 main event, because I'm just so sick of the whole McGregor fiasco. I love the guy. I respect him. I get where he's coming from, but he tried to prove he was bigger than the UFC, and it failed. It backfired on him. So now you're not at UFC 200. You might not be at UFC New York. So I think they need to make a statement. They need to stand up against him. If Dana White and them caved in to Conor McGregor, it would set a bad precedent and could cause them problems in the future. So kudos to them for standing their ground, I think.
Yeah, and I think so too. And we got a couple comments on it already. Mike Jarve saying Conor should have made clear when he agreed to the rematch. So when he agreed to the rematch, basically when you signed the fight contract, he should have said, "Hey, I just can't do the as much press as we did last time." Now, like I was watching the JRD, the Joe Rogan Experience the other day. You know, Rogan and Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub said, you know, and he put a little story out there about when they went out to dinner or lunch, whatever they were doing, they were eating, and Conor told him, like, yeah, this media thing is a motherfucker, dude. Like, you know, it's a pain in the ass. So, and we've seen it a lot where you know, like the Diaz brothers themselves hate doing the media. Nick Diaz got taken off a fight against GSP, put back on only to fight BJ Penn when GSP got hurt. But I mean, Jay, it's interesting. A lot of people think that the Conor, you know, runs the UFC, but he basically just got Nick Diaz, right? You don't show up for a press conference, you're off the card. And they're sticking with it this time. They haven't put it back like they put Nick back. They're not putting Conor back, and they replaced his fight. What do you think is like? I mean, going on, moving on. Like, when do you think is like the soonest we're gonna see McGregor? Because I mean, supposing New York's off the table.
Well, it's interesting because Dana White says that his next fight will be against the Aldo Frankie winner. But then he said, oh, well, maybe UFC 201, 202, or 203. Well, if that's the case, it's not going to be the Aldo Frankie Edgar because it's far too soon, the UFC 200. I think maybe they're going to go with the Diaz rematch, probably at 201 or 202. You know, that's the way it looks like it's going. I don't think McGregor will make 145 again. They should, if they really wanted to, they should vacate that title before 200 just to give the card more of a pop. I mean, it's for the real title, you know?
So speaking of that, a lot of people are saying, like, hey, this card needed saving. Like, they all think like they needed saving, right? Conor's off. They make Jones DC2. First of all, we don't even know 100% for sure what the doctors have said about either guy, right? So, I mean, until that comes out, this isn't really 100%. But the UFC needed to put a fight on there before tickets went on sale, I think, this Friday, if not already for some people. And so now we get, you know, this main event, and I don't know. It's just the whole situation is annoying. Like, I'm with you. I'm so sick of hearing about it. I'm just, at some point we gotta stop talking about it. But you know, John Kavanaugh is McGregor's coach. Comes out and says that taking New York away from McGregor is already bad. Like, it's too much. And I don't understand that. But look, Nick, if you're making that card in New York, do you have to have McGregor?
No, you don't. You have a ton of other. You have John Jones again. You have Chris Weidman. You have the whole New York fight camp over there. You don't need Conor McGregor to main event one of your biggest events, your first event in MSG. You can have a Ronda Rousey be on MSG. You can have someone else other than Conor. But I don't think he'll even get that New York card. I think they're going to punish him. They're going to put him on 201, 202. They're going to put him back in Vegas or somewhere else. They're not going to put him on this high-stake card because he pulled this crap once. Who says he won't do it again?
Right, and on the YouTube comments, Danny Moore makes a good point. Real quick, Ronda Rousey does movies, and then still promotes her fight. How the hell can Conor not?
Yeah.
But it's a decent point. But she also got knocked the fuck out against Holly Holm. So.
Yeah, another thing I want to say about all that is I made a tweet not too long ago that it's like the UFC created a monster, McGregor, like Frankenstein. And when Frankenstein gets out of hand, what do? You got to pull the fucking plug on him and teach him what's up. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and again, everyone on YouTube is really agreeing. Jeremiah is saying Conor thought he was going to get his way. Once he didn't, he pitched a hissy fit. And Danny says, agree with Jeremiah. They screwed up changing his poster for the first Diaz fight. Gave him an inch. Now he's mad that he can't get a mile. And it's true. It's very true.
This isn't boxing. This isn't Mayweather production. It's a UFC. It's something different. And that's what I can see McGregor trying to do is take over the world of mixed martial arts, take over the UFC, so he's that guy that runs it, and he's not going to be that guy.
Yeah, Andrew Reed asking about John Jones' medical suspension. It's iffy. I mean, I think from what I heard, and I don't know, Jay, if you heard any different, is that it depends on if the doctors clear him or not. So it's almost like Jones needs to find a doctor to clear him. I mean, is that what you've heard?
Well, the medical suspensions, a lot of people get a 6-month medical suspension, and it doesn't mean shit. You can get cleared in 3 weeks. I didn't see anyone tweeting anything about Jones walking funny at today's presser. I didn't see it all, but he looked fine. So, and then DC, I know next week is his MRI appointment again to see if he can get cleared. It was supposed to be this week, but it got pushed over. Mm-hmm. They said he wasn't ready, but they said maybe next week he is. So, I think there's a good chance he can go through.
Look, I certainly hope so. I need that. And look, again, let's talk about the saving the card thing. Jay, did this before Jones DC got put on? Did this card need saving?
Not saving. I'd say a boost. It could use a boost for the monumental UFC 200, but it didn't need saving. And from what I'm hearing, there's another fight going to be added to it, and it's not Nate Diaz. I was talking to some people who go to TriStar Gym, and they told me the past few weeks they've been told strictly to not leak any info about George's upcoming fight because they will be banned from the gym forever.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I think they've got something in place for GSP. I was hoping they would announce it today, but it looks like not. So.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Jay? What do you think about these people are talking about GSP going to 155? Like, get the fuck out of here, right?
Fuck.
Well, I know in the past he says instead of moving to 185, he'd rather move to 155 if he had to leave this 170 division. And he just posted a picture of Auburn Mercier. I can't remember the guy's name.
Olivier Mercier. Yeah, Olivier.
Yeah, they posted a picture together, and that guy fights at lightweight, and GSP was smaller than him, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. What's up?
No, I'm listening. I'm agreeing.
Look, Nick, if they put GSP on this card, who you want to see him fight?
Lawler. Let's see. Maybe. Other than that, I don't care. I just want to see him fight. I want to see if he still has what it can take to be in the UFC right now. It's been a while, but I don't know. Jay, what do you think? I know you have something on your mind.
I heard he got offered the Lawler fight, and that was one of the first fights he offered, and he shot it down. He's like, I don't want responsibility of holding a title anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just too much. He says he wants to have a couple big fights and close his career out. So if he accepted the Lawler fight, it probably would have announced a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, who would you put him up against, Jay? Like, who's realistic for GSP at this point?
Well, UFC 198 is, May 14th? Mm-hmm. Let's see how Anderson Silva comes out of that Uriah Hall fight.
Would not mind seeing that.
I agree with that.
You good with that? Yeah. Here's the thing. Nick is a huge Anderson Silva fan. Like, you just seen all the crying, all the tears, and the bitching and moaning and fucking tampon training that he was doing over and over again after Weidman beat him twice. So, if GSP beats him, Nick might jump off a building somewhere. So we might
almost in for the Bisbing.
I think it makes sense because I'm pretty sure GSP and them have settled this whole Reebok sponsorship deal by putting more win and show money on his thing, right? So I think what they're doing is waiting to see what happens at UFC 198 if they can slide in Silva. If Silva shows up like the old Silva, I think he can put away Hall in the first without getting hurt. If he clowns around like he did with Bisbing, no, he won't be good for the UFC 200.
No, it's like if you let Uriah Hall just keep give him time to beat you. He has a good chance of doing it, but Uriah Hall has a trigger problem. But anyway, Danny Moore is saying GSP on crack might make 160, maybe. He could take the John Jones route for that shit. And then how about GSP versus Damian Maia?
Well, yeah, Maia's also fighting 190, I believe. That would be interesting. I'm a huge Maia nut hugger. I'd like to see that. That would be cool. Yeah.
I'd be okay with it too, because I think GSP could try to hug him all he wants to, but Maia's got legit murder jits, is what I call it. He's a fucking monster. I love that dude. All right, so let's talk about it real quick. John, okay. Obviously, the presser was today. I didn't get to watch it live. I was working. Nick, you got to see it. Overall, what was your take on the whole press conference? Like, what'd you take away from it?
It was all right. It was the same old John Jones DC shit talk back and forth. The fans kind of made the press event for me because they were just booing the shit out of DC, and it was weird because you see DC at the level of I'm the champ, I'm gonna beat John Jones, and then as more and more fans start like shitting on him, he just starts going down, and even up to the stare down, he was just standing there. He just didn't care. He didn't mean mug John. He just held the belt, looked at the crowd, and just walked away. You can kind of tell. But the one fight I'm excited for is Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes. Miesha Tate was talking a little bit of trash, so was Amanda, but that I think that could be a good fight.
I hope so. Jay, what is your take on that? I wasn't convinced Amanda Nunes deserved a title shot. I would have been I would have been more okay with either the Holly Holm rematch or a Kat Zingano, just bring her in, fuck it type of fight. But what do you think about the Nunes? Do you think she deserves a shot? Is it gonna be a good, what do you think about that fight?
On paper, yeah, I guess she deserves a shot. I mean, the fans give a shit about her? No. I think what happened here is Dana's still bitter with Holly Holm's manager. They've had clashes, in the past, and I think they're just like, you know what? Nah, we're going to give it to Nunes instead. So who knows what happened behind the scenes?
Yeah, and look, Dana White seems to have a problem with anybody coming out of Jackson's anyway. So, he basically hates all those dudes at this point. Danny's saying, I'd rather have had you guys ask the questions at that presser. I didn't watch it, but appreciate that nod, my friend. And GSP versus Woodley would be nice, or GSP Condit too. If they can make GSP Condit,
I got an erection. Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, GSP Condit 2 would be so insane.
Doesn't Condit have a fight right now?
Fuck no. Condit was talking about retiring last fight after the Lawler fight.
That's right.
I guarantee you offer him GSP, he's like, yeah, I'm in. Fuck yeah, sign that shit right now. Like, woo, that would be fucking dirty. Oh, now I want that fucking shit to happen so bad. So badly. All right. So, obviously, UFC 200 main event now, as long as the doctors and all shit works out. John Jones with DC number 2 for the legit belt. You got champion, you got an interim champion, whatever. But we just saw John Jones fight against OSP. Nick, you saw that fight. It wasn't the normal John Jones. I had a weird feeling about that he looked off. Whoa, did you agree? Do you agree with that, or maybe what do you think was the issue?
Yeah, I totally agree. He looked off, but you got to think about it. He hasn't been in the cage for what, over 12 months, 14 months, something like that. He hasn't been in there. He's been dealing with some shit. I understand that he maybe had that ring rust. He was hesitant, but you can see he respected OSP's power, and he didn't want to get caught whatsoever. He even said in the press conference he just had to win that fight to get to DC. That's all he wanted to do, and he played it smart. He played, his MMA IQ was good right there. He just did what he had to do to win the fight. I agree with it.
I was disappointed in the lack of eye pokes from Jones. I really was. I was looking for OSP to never be able to use one of his eyes ever again. We'll call him the Black Bisping and fucking just start fucking. Change Jones's nickname to fucking I don't know, poke fingers. I don't know, something creative with eye pokes. Because I legitimately was like, there was no eye pokes. I haven't seen any. Maybe there was one. I don't know. I don't remember. But I was expecting a shit ton of eye pokes and nothing. So it was weird. But, Jay, that was not the normal John Jones we've seen. He seemed to me, he lacked a little bit of confidence, and he lacked a little bit of timing. What do you think?
Yeah, there was definitely ring rust, timing for sure. There's a big difference between sparring and being in a fight. He can spar all he wants, but it's not the same. You're not as nervous as you're on the octagon. I was quite annoyed for the first while when he kept throwing those stupid little leg kicks, those little oblique kicks, whatever he calls it. To me, it's like... yeah, they're hurting you and everything, but it's like how GSP would use his jab just to keep his opponent at bay and just blow up points. Like, okay, buddy, are you gonna try something? Or are you just gonna do these little sushi kicks all night, for fuck's sakes? But you gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. It's been such a long time, and maybe if DC was in the cage, she would have been a little more motivated and more aggressive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he was training for DC, and then you throw him OSP, who's a different kind of fighter. But I'm with Nate Diaz. Everyone should be ready to fight at a moment's notice, no matter who it is. But that's just, I guess, just a few things. Here's the thing. That oblique kick, by the way, just real quick, Nick, I know I don't think you're a fan of that oblique kick. I call it a dirty fucking kick. I can't stand it. But it's weird that that's legal, but 12-6 elbows not. To me, I feel it's stupid. But the oblique kick. It's
a dirty move. When I was in my kickboxing and sparring and everything like that, those oblique kicks are dirty and they hurt bad. They can blow out a knee. Now, I know the rule is you can't kick the knee, but you can kick above the knee and everything like that. But that still blows out the knee, and you can tell that OSP was hurting because of those kicks. It sucks. Everyone from the Jackson camp has been using it. Anderson Silva started using it in his last fight against Bisping. It's a dirty kick. I don't agree with it. I think it should be illegal, but hey, I know California wanted to illegal or ban him or whatever. Or was it Nevada or
No,
California? One of them.
it's California. Danny just said it's a dirty kick and it's not legal in California.
Yeah.
So, which is good. But I thought it was weird. I mean, just he kept going after it and going after it, and then Jay, like, he broke OSP's arm. Now, forget that part that he broke OSP's arm. That was kind of expected at some point with the powerlifting and all this other shit. Were you at all bothered, or maybe, okay, let me finish it back. I was not at all bothered by the dance that he did in the interview with Megan O'Leary, but people lost their shit. How could he celebrate breaking OSP's arm? I mean, what'd you think of that?
Oh yeah, I just saw that today. I don't know. You know, it's if he went to the hospital and danced in front of Danny and danced in front of him, OSP, you know, making fun of it different. I don't know. I just think everything John Jones does for the next while, or for the past few years, has been it's just magnified. Everyone's going to dissect every single thing he does. You know, if he farts in public, I'm sure there's a lot of websites like you know, ENTM Ports who will do a fucking article on it. You know, so yeah, I mean, it didn't bug me at all.
It's so weird you mentioned that website. I've been back and forth with those guys. It's like in the weirdest fucking back and forths ever. And I'm like, I know who it is. I know who, you know, who runs that site, but I'm just like, really? Like, chill the fuck out, dude. It's just
they tried to buy some of my social media platforms right before they launched the site. I told them to go fuck themselves because I knew that the guy was coming from BJPenn.com, the Pedro guy. That we all know about that. We won't even get into that. But yeah.
Yeah, BJPenn.com is a joke. I can't believe that BJ Penn still yells that shit out. I really don't. Like, god damn it. Like, I'm like, come on, BJ, do better, man. Like, you deal with the media every day. Fucking, you know.
Well, the thing is, his website's connected to the Twitter, and it just auto-tweets any article they do. He doesn't even see half the shit that gets put out.
Yeah. Have you seen that shit where I think that's the website that's like bot? I don't know if bot like automatic tweets with fighters, but like Cyborg can barely, you know, speak or type English, but all of a sudden these perfect English fucking things come out with like a link to that website. You seen that shit?
Yeah, I know exactly what happened there. I got the details on that. What they did is they approached a lot of fighters and asked to be a poster on their page, not having min power on their Facebook, but a poster. And what they're doing is they're showing them the traffic every month, and every, like, whatever, how much traffic their page refers, they give them a cut of the ad revenue. So the fighters are making a little bit of money, and they're getting, you know, more money and more traffic. Like those guys, I checked their stats, they're getting over 2 million views a month. It's fucking ridiculous. Guys like us who actually do legit work, we're getting fucked.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. You know, that website, just, I mean, it's, you know, do your thing, man, but fuck. Yeah. Like, it'll be BJPenn.com very soon. Like, BJPenn.com Jr. is what I'm going to call it, just straight up. But yeah. All right. And then how about the co-main event? DJ finishes Cejudo. Like, finally, we're starting to see some finishes out of DJ. I don't think it's because people were bitching about it. I just think he now he has the like, he's gotten opportunities finally to finish people. But I don't think Cejudo showed up, you know, ready to fight, right, Jay? I mean, what do you think of that fight?
First of all, I bet a shitload of money on Cejudo. I thought he was the guy that was going to finish that enough. But then I made an insurance bet and put a shitload of money on the under 4 rounds. So I still walked away with money. I think Cejudo mentioned it. He counted too much on his clinching power and didn't think Mighty Mouse would be able to hang with him. And you can't do that in this sport. Like, Mighty Mouse clearly knows that you're going to try to fucking clinch with him. So what do you think he worked hard on besides playing video games on fucking Twitch all the time? Obviously, he worked a lot on that. And you know what? Mighty Mouse is number 1 or number 2 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. I got to witness him win the flyweight title here in Toronto in a pretty decent fight against Benavidez. I like him. He's a good guy, man. I really do like him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of DJ. In fact, I'm part of that group that believes he's pound for pound the best, right? And people saying John Jones number 1, DJ's number 2. I flip it. I think DJ's number 1 and John Jones is number 2. You know, there's a lot of people putting asterisks all over that shit. But what do you think of that? Is there, I mean, how do you rank those 2 guys? 1 and 2, or like Jones first, DJ first? What do you think?
Currently, Johnson should be number 1 without a doubt. However, if Jones beats DC at 200, he gets his number 1 spot back.
Oh, for sure. Be that. And then, all right, DC loses to John Jones. What happens?
For DC?
Yeah.
I'd consider going back up to heavyweight. Because I don't think Kane I don't see Kane holding a title again. I just think the wear and tear from the training. I think he's past his time. Like, he's still a great fighter, one of the top three. I think DC, if he doesn't win against Jones, I mean, what are you going to do? Who are you going to fight again? Like, what do you move back up to heavyweight? You know what I mean? That's what I think he should do.
Definitely. All right. Oh, Andrew Reed saying one of the best moves I had as a doorman with the oblique kick. Okay, so Andrew says, what? The oblique kick is not a sissy kick. It's brilliant. Stop moaning. And then Mike goes back with no worse than getting kicked in the head. And Andy says, one of the best moves I had as a doorman, no matter how big you are, it will bloody hurt. Good point. He's trying to fucking, if you're trying to fuck somebody up, kick the shit out of their knee, or right above their knee too.
And on that topic too, with the being dirty kicks, look, I'm an old school guy. You're in a fucking fight.
Yeah.
If a guy can kick you in the head, whoa, who's kicking me in the leg? Too fucking bad. And the only, I wish there was the 12-6 elbows. I don't like the former Pride soccer kicks. I just think there's no martial arts technique in kicking a guy in the face on the ground. I like knees on the ground too. I wish that was back. Knees on the ground and downward elbows. But the soccer kicks was just, that's not martial arts,
Yeah. And Nick, I guess your camera's not working, but we're good. Don't worry about it.
I think it's back up, right?
I don't know. I don't see it, but maybe it's up for the viewers. I'm not sure. No, I don't know. Whatever. Let's keep going. Yeah, here at fucking Keep It Warriors, we break the fourth wall over and over again. We don't give a fuck, so chill. All right. Anyway, let's talk real quick. A couple of the YouTube comments here. Cejudo, or Mike Drop says he knew Cejudo would get destroyed. And then, oh geez, Mike just said he's a male version of Sarah McMahon. That's pretty bad. That's pretty. Oh, think about it. That's pretty fucking bad.
Fuck.
Yeah, well. Fight Book says Kane won't make it to the fight. Thanks for jinxing my guy. What the fuck? And Seedman MMA says Jay's huge biceps. So you got a friend on the YouTube, my friend.
Oh, they can actually see me?
Yeah. They can see you on the little square on the bottom. Like once we get the microphone issue figured out, you'll be popping up on the big rectangle thing. But
Todd, you just got a raise, buddy.
There you go.
He works with me. I've identified it, man. He's a great asset to the team.
There you go. All right, what about this weekend, man? Heavyweights, main event. Nick, who you got? Alistair Overeem or Andrei Arlovski?
It's a tricky fight because Reem just re-signed his contract, so he's hungry. He wants that title shot. But then again, it's heavyweights. You never know. Alistair could catch him. He could submit him. What did I say? Alistair. I'm talking Arlovski. But I'm going Reem. I think Reem's gonna do it. It's gonna be a second round probably around there. They're gonna feel each other out first round and take it out second.
All right, Jay, who you got in this fight? And if Overeem wins, does he get a title shot?
Overeem wins, he does deserve a title shot, but I don't think he will. I think Team Jackson has worked with him long enough to know all his holes,
True.
And they're strongly in the side of Arlovski. And if Arlovski stays composed like the veteran he is and follows instructions, he can beat Overeem. He's just got to be able to weather the storm, eat some punches, which he is sometimes capable of, sometimes not. And I don't know, it's a toss-up. Like, I'm not even betting on that fight. I think I would probably bet maybe an under on that. I don't know, winning-wise.
What about in the co-main event? We have nearly 14 feet of human being and flabby fucking stomachs. Stefan Struve against Antonio Bigfoot Silva. It's a weird fight. Like, we honestly thought both these guys would be done by now, but they're not. So now we're gonna have two tall ass motherfuckers fight each other. And in fact, Struve has like a 4-inch reach advantage. I thought that was hilarious. But hey, it is what it is. But Jay, loser leaves town.
Sorry, who's Struve fighting again?
Struve's fighting Bigfoot.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a loser leaves town. That's a tough one. I like it. It's a good matchup. I like matchups like that where there's no definitive, that guy's going to win for sure. I would lean towards Struve. I think the post-TRT era for Bigfoot is not a good era.
Mm-hmm. No. In fact, it's been awful for anybody that was on TRT, right? I mean, Mir had like 1 or 2 decent fights off of TRT, and now he's, getting murdered by everybody. Everyone else that was on TRT. We have a thing we call Vitor TRT Vitor. Like, that's part of his legacy. Like, it's Vitor. There's early young Vitor. There's TRT Vitor, and there's Vitor. What do they call him? Dad bod Vitor. That shit's so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but he looks just physically, he's just not at all intimidating. Mind you, he's still a bad motherfucker, but still. It's kind of crazy. Danny Moore says Arlovsky gets inside the range and punches him out, talking about beating Overeem. Jeremiah says maybe Struve. He also says Overeem knocks Arlovsky out. Fight book's going with Struve. You're right, Jay. Fucking nobody knows. It's kind of that damn even that no one can pick a definitive guy.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good fight. All right, real quick, we'll go over some just upcoming events. As you know, UFC 200 is in July 9th, so there's quite a few events. So real quick, we'll go over some main events before we end the show. UFC 198, Stipe versus Verdum. Real quick, Jay, who you got in that one?
My heart's going with Stipe. I like him. You know. But Verdum he's scary, man. He doesn't even need to use his jiu-jitsu anymore because he's fucking people up on the feet. I'm gonna go with Verdum. I'd go with Verdum. I think he's got more tools. Yeah.
Nick, who you got, man?
I'm going for Doom. I have to agree with Jay. He has more tools. His submission game is just too damn good.
I got Stipe by lucky fucking punch. Just fucking one-hit knockout. Verdum gets on Queer Street and it's over, I think.
He's going to do the Junior Dos Santos super uppercut.
Yes. Hey, oh, dude, how sick would that be? And then just put both of them right next to each other. It's the exact same motion and Verdum, same fucking face on the way down.
Yeah.
He's so awesome. Yeah. And real quick, if anybody's sleeping on UFC 198 with all the UFC 200 talk, please fucking go look at the card, okay? Main event is Verdum, Stipe, fine. You can think whatever you want of that card. But then Jacare Belfort, really the guy that Vitor seems to be like running away from forever, finally gonna fight him? Bad time to fight him, by the way, Vitor. The dad bod's not gonna fucking help you. But hey. Anderson Silva against Uriah Hall. Fucking people went nuts. This one I want to talk about a little bit. Cyborg against Leslie Smith. Jay, do you know if anybody else got offered that Cyborg fight and Leslie's the only crazy one, like one crazy enough to take it?
I think, no, I know there was rumors swirling a long time, like for like 2 months ahead of time that she was on the card. A website called Combate out of Brazil actually initially put the report. My buddy Todd Parkinson there actually followed up on that report and reported as well. I think some people reach out to the UFC, but what I think they want is they want to get, when they go to Brazil, they like to feed the Brazilian fighters winnable fights to appease the crowd and help keep it big in Brazil because they're starting to lose some of their stars. So it's like a lamb to the slaughter thing. I don't think they wanted to risk putting Holly Holm or someone in there or someone who's actually a contender at the 135 division, because if Cyborg lights them up and finishes them pretty bad, you kind of eliminate a contender at 135. They're not as sellable.
True. All right, and then and Andrew retweeting over UFC 198 will be mental. Yeah, fuck yes. That's gonna be insane. Also, Shogun against Corey Anderson. Not a big fan of that fight. I'm hoping Shogun brings a little bit of magic back and knocks his dude out. This is a bad motherfucking fight, but I think it's a bad matchup for Matt Brown. Damian Maia against Matt Brown. I think it's a bad matchup for Matt Brown, but it's rough. Warley Alves against Bart. What's up?
Sorry, with that one, I'm a huge Maia lover, but he's got to get down within the first minute because if he gets overwhelmed with some strikes, he'll turtle up.
Yeah. So I just saw this fight. I didn't know this was on 198. This is Little Nog against Patrick Cummins. I didn't know that was a fight.
Didn't that fight already happen?
It's right here.
Oh no, is it?
It's on the card. Like, if you go to UFC.com/event, UFC 198, whatever, it's there. Like Nogueira Cummins. That's not something I care to see, but they're gonna make it anyway.
Oh yeah, it's Big Nog that retired.
Yeah, Big Nog retired.
I mixed both those guys up. Yeah, okay. Hey, Patrick Cummins has a chance there. He's pretty good.
Yeah. No, I like Cummins. He's kind of had some shitty, matchups lately, especially with that shit he was talking about DC. You don't want to fight a pissed off DC like that.
Yeah.
So, a couple of YouTube comments here. People going, let's see, Fight Book's going with Struve. Danny Moore's going for Verdum. Mike's got Stipe. Fight Book's got Verdum. Jeremiah. Basically, everyone's taking Verdum. There's like two of us taking Stipe, and it's me more hoping that Stipe wins. How's that? But yeah.
Wins. Yeah, I'm not putting money on him.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next event that's after that. By the way, 198 definitely one we're spending money on. As long as everyone shows up healthy and no one gets injured like a week before, we're good.
Money on UFC pay-per-views.
I didn't say I did. I'm just saying, if you're gonna spend money on it, that's not a bad one. Then we got UFC Fight Night Almeida versus Garbrandt. That is a hell of a fucking fight. All right, Thomas Almeida against Cody Garbrandt is a hell of a fight, and I'm leaning heavily towards Almeida. I think Almeida is the next star at 135. Nick, who you got in that fight?
I got Almeida too. It's going to be a good fight though. If someone's going to sleep for that fight, and I think Almeida's going to do it. He, like you said, he's the next up. He's the next up and comer in that division. He's gonna run through him.
Yeah, Jay, do you think? Look, Almeida, he wasn't given hype right away, like a Sage type of fight, right, or hype, right? He's built his up by winning fights and winning them convincingly. In this fight, he wins this. His name is on the map already. It's going to be even bigger. How long before Almeida gets a title shot?
Well, I think Almeida will beat Cody for a couple of reasons. He's a savage, and this whole alpha male shit going on. There's so much inconsistency. They don't have real coaches anymore. There's so much drama. That's a distraction. You know what I mean? Paige Van Zandt dumping his ass, and then, there's a lot of just distractions on his end. I think he's a great fighter and everything. Almeida is just a hungry beast. I think he'll run through him in about a round and a half. Yeah,
Almeida is just a monster. I'm a big fan of that kid. Just real quick, also on that card, Renan Barão returns against. Renan Barão goes to 135. No, that's a 145 fight. Okay.
145.
Yeah, Renan Barão goes up to featherweight against Jeremy Stevens, and then we got Safady and Rick Story. Chris Camozzi's back against Vitor Miranda. Masvidal against Larkin. That's gonna be a good fight. If you like strikers, you want to watch some striking. Those two guys. Bergman's still in the UFC. What the fuck? Okay, well, hey, Josh Bergman's still in the UFC. Fucking breaking news. Against Kauffelder. So, yeah. And then a couple more main events here. Rockhold Weidman 2 is UFC 189 June 4th. Again, as long as everyone's healthy, should be okay. Mind you, if Weidman somehow wins, please believe he's going to be at the New York UFC, right? I mean, Jay, if Weidman wins the title back, you put him on that card.
Yeah, he'll definitely be probably a co-main because, I mean, he's great, but he's still doesn't have a huge fan base still. It's just, I don't know, he's not outspoken enough. And I do think he will win that fight by decision. I do. I think he's going to keep it on the ground a lot. I do see him winning it for sure. I think that loss, his first loss of his career, he's just, I just, and Rockhold, I think Rockhold's a douche, to be honest. I don't give a fuck what everyone says. He's a douche. We all saw it on the dating show. Spit or swallow, or fuck you. And I just think the lifestyle he lives, he's just, especially with the belt, it's like the belt to him is just double the pussy. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know. I think Weidman will prevail by decision in this one.
Yeah, Rockhold got that belt, man. He's gonna be on record for owning the most child support ever in the state of California, ever in the history of that fight. Yeah. If not already.
Oh yeah.
If not already. So we're going back and forth here. Mike Jarb saying Weidman's gonna lose even faster. It's possible. Who knows?
I agree.
That fight was weird. You like Rockhold in that fight?
I like Rockhold in the fight. I think he was dominating in the whole fight, in my opinion. Even when Weidman threw that stupid in my opinion, spinning kick.
It was stupid.
That was stupid. Never do that again. But I think Rockhold finished him faster this time.
It's possible. All right, just one more here because this is a fucking hell of a fight. And one that Jay for sure is interested in. Rory McDonald against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Your boy, the Red King, is fighting one of the more exciting strikers in MMA, but I got Rory in that fight because Rory is complete. I mean, I'm a big fan of Rory's, but I'm going to guess who you got in that fight already. But who you got in that fight, and how do you think that fight goes?
Yeah, I got Rory. He's just more diverse. He has more tools. It's a common phrase to use in the industry, but it's true. He has more tools. He ate shots for breakfast from Robbie Lawler and survived to the last round. And we know it's his kicking game that's going to be tough. It's kicking. I think Rory will keep the distance, come in with some strikes, get him on the ground. He's just going to really mix it up. I think he'll tire out Wonderboy, and I do think he'll get the win, probably a late stoppage by maybe ground and pound.
All right, Nick, who you got in that fight?
I got to go against you guys.
What's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead. After that, I'll say something.
All right.
Okay, I'm going Wonder Boy. I'm gonna flip it on you guys. I like Wonder Boy. I think he's that next up and comer in the welterweight division. The way he beat Hendricks, we've never seen Hendricks get beat like that before, and he totally outclassed him. And yes, it's a wrestler, and yes, Rory McDonald's way more seasoned in my opinion. My hats off that fight against Robbie Lawler was one of the greatest fights I ever watched ever. But I gotta go with Wonder Boy. I think it's his time. He has his number.
All right. What were you gonna say, Jay?
Yeah, and a fight not to sleep on that card, Cowboy Cote.
Hell yeah.
That could be fight of the night right there.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm honestly going to give it to Cote because I think he can overwhelm Cowboy with his hands. Cote has a tremendous chin.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? And I think Cowboy crumbles under pressure when you really get your hands on him. Get as many punches in, string them together, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't care about defense. He just likes to have fun fighting and be offensive. So I'm giving it to Cote, not just because he's Canadian, but I think Cote can take out Cowboy.
You know, I think he could too, especially with Cowboy's problem with not fucking just going. He's got to wait a while and get timing down without throwing anything. So, yeah, but that card's actually in Ottawa, Ontario. I'm sure it's not that close to you, is it?
That's about a 5-hour drive from me.
You gonna take a shot at it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll show up. I'm not. I'm telling my friends I'm not going, but I like to show up fight weekend and have fun. So.
You're like, I'm not telling you guys. I'm gonna show up. You guys are gonna fucking give me beer anyway. Fuck it. All right. Last check of the headlines here before we go. Nothing really that new. Oh shit. Okay. So someone mentioned somebody's leg getting amputated on the chat, and I thought somebody were fucking around. Turns out
Jones's mother.
John Jones's mother had leg amputated during UFC 197. Holy fuck.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, that's just a little distraction.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Just a little bit.
It's just a woman that sat through labor for like 15 hours to, fucking, shit out your 6'5" world champion ass. Like, that's all that was. Just that lady. Who cares?
Buy your other fucking leg. You got enough fucking money.
Yeah, you got 2 legs. You can lose one. No problem. You'll be all right. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be... Well, what's up? Go ahead.
Real quick. I want to bring something up since we kind of skipped the fight. Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber, right? Dominic wins. Everyone's on agreement with that one?
Well, Dominic
he wins
Faber?
by decision.
Yeah, so Dominic wins. Do you give Dominic DC? Not DJ.
First of all, yes, I do give Dominic DC because all Dominic has to do is run around in circles till DC's fat ass who gasses out. But Dominic DJ, I think you have to pitch that fight to DJ. I think Dominic will take it. But I honestly think Dominic Cruz beats him too. What do you think, Jay?
Something I've heard is that DJ wants to break Silva's record first, which is only 3 wins he needs, 2 to tie, 3 to win. Once he does that, his marketability will be a little higher, and then he's going to probably negotiate a new contract, get paid more, then move up to fight Cruz if he still has the title then. I mean, this is probably about 3 fights you can get in about a calendar year, so it's probably about a year away. And I would pick Cruz in that fight.
Oh, me too. Me too. What about you, Nick? Nick, you taking Cruz too?
I'm taking Cruz too in that fight, but I think it'd be a way better fight than the first one.
Yeah, but again, 3 fights is about a year, so we're about a year away, maybe a little more from that even potentially happening. And real quick, before we go, I just remembered, Nick, real quick, Benson Henderson thinking he can still fight at 170 and getting dominated in Bellator. What did you think of the fight? Did you watch the fight?
Yes, I did, and he got demolished. And a lot of people were saying the excuse of the Bellator cage is different, it's smaller, and he wasn't expecting that. Well, you know what? I just think he was a smaller guy in the cage. He got beat up.
He fought in a lot of UFC fight nights where they used a smaller cage.
The 35-footers.
Yeah, exactly. So he got his ass whooped. Period. He got his ass whooped, and it sucks to see. I was watching the whole fight. I was pulling for him. I really wanted him to take it, but I don't know what you do next with him.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jay, Benson went over there. Look, everybody was talking. Benson's gonna be the champion. He's gonna be the champ. He's gonna win tonight. He's gonna be a champ. He's gonna be, he's gonna be a 3-title. Well, in his career, it would have been WC, UFC, and Bellator. Hell, even I think it was with people saying. I think it was Keyboard Warriors. We were talking about if Benson wins the Bellator belt, Pettis should go to Bellator and take it away, so he can take all 3 of his titles. What What do you think of Benson and Bellator? I mean, look, my opinion, should have fight at 170. He should be a 155er, but I think he's going to stay there.
He's done the end of this year, apparently. He's saying that when he's 33, he's always told himself he'll join the Army or something, right? So I think he's just going to Bellator to get a couple of big more paydays, and he's out. He's done another year. So maybe 2 more fights in Bellator, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, 2 more things. We're getting questions asked here real quick. Mike Jar, and could give a quick answer on this one if you can, Nick. Mike Jars wants to know, RDA versus Alvarez, who you got?
Oh, that's a good one, but I think RDA. RDA is too much of a monster, but I'm pulling for Alvarez. He's my Philly boy. I got to go for Alvarez.
That's right. Jay, who you got?
RDA smokes him. RDA finishes him within 3. Eddie's a slow starter. He gets dropped easily. RDA is a beast.
Yeah, I like RDA in that fight, and I hate to say it because I think we need a different champion at 155. RDA is, and look, he's a great fight. He's an amazing fighter. But as far as like what you want to do with the belt with a champion, it's hard to market him as like oh look, he's your hero at 155. So it's kind of weird. But I think RDA wins too. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. What about what do we do with Pettis right now? Getting leg kicked to hell. But yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Jay, what do you think of that? Pettis losing this weekend. What do you think?
Sucks, but you got to keep him on your roster. He's still highly marketable. Look, hey, he's a good-looking kid, and he still likes to put on flashy fights. You want to keep those guys in your roster. At the same time, you got to be very cautious in the Scott Coker era. The people you let go, Scott Coker can take and promote like a motherfucker. So, business-wise, I would hold on to Pettis and still let him, fight top 15 guys kind of deal. Put him on fight night cards and keep him because you don't want to let him go to Bellator. So.
True. All right, then a couple of tweets here. Andrew E. says, going to have to go with Wonder Boy. He won't brawl. He's going to fight clever as far as the Roy McDonald fight goes.
What's that guy's Twitter name? I'll fucking tweet at him right now.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Andy's the shit. Follow him anyway. But and then real quick, last thing, because Andy wants to know. Look, Kimbo put an awful performance up on PEDs, on steroids, whatever it was, and now he got suspended. And now he's going to fight in London against Jason Thompson. James Thompson, what's his name?
James Thompson.
James Thompson.
Okay, they fucked up there because Texas still has to have a hearing for him, and if they give him a suspension past July, he ain't happening. It looks really bad on Bellator to book this guy a fight before his shit's done. It does. And speaking of that, did you see the picture of Dad at 5,000 that just came out?
Yes.
In the hospital bed?
If you haven't seen it, I retweeted it.
Dead as fuck.
Yeah, I retweeted it. So go on Twitter at ELOT31. It's fucking insane. You can't even tell it's him.
What is it?
Huh?
Sorry, Boys in the Hood. Did you see the movie Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
Like, you want to see a dead body?
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker looked dead.
That's exactly what it was like. Oh, shit, that was insane. Nick, what do you think of that, though? Kimbo fighting even though he was on steroids.
I thought Kimbo already got his suspension and everything like that. I thought that was already a done deal. But if Jay's correct, well, I don't think he'll even make the card.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys coming on. You can follow me at ELOT31. Nick is at NickXMicro. Jay is at Jay Russell MMA. Check out VendettaFighter.com. The dude's always putting stuff out, breaking news, all that stuff. So make sure you check that out. Of course, we're at CrossroadsMMA.com. This will be on iTunes by tomorrow, hopefully, as long as Apple decides to act right. And everywhere. It'll be everywhere. Anything you want to say, Jay, before we go?
No, this was great. I'd like to partake in it every week, huh?
Fuck yeah.
I like the way you're on the show.
Let's do it.
Nick's all right for like a guy who looks like he's fucking 12, but yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. All right. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Jay. You guys, everyone have a good afternoon, good night, good morning, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll catch you guys on the next show. See ya.
Peace.
Later.